There is nothing more frustrating than being right in the middle of a movie or in a serious jam session and having your receiver just shut off. You hear that annoying click. Maybe you get some warning lights. Sometimes it says protect. Sometimes you see like LEDs flashing. Man, is that frustrating. Let's see if we can figure this out. So fire up some microwave popcorn and deal with your substandard, maybe cell phone or laptop speakers. And let's get your real speakers back up and running. Don't worry, you're not alone. This recently just happened to me. I was right in the middle of a movie and the thing just shut off. No sound, nothing. I'm turning it on and off. It kept going into this protect mode and so frustrating. That's all I have to say about that. Just frustrating. There's several reasons why this might be happening, and we're going to explore them today. Hopefully, following along, a few of these will work for you, and you'll be up and running. You're dirty. Just kidding. Clean your receiver or your amplifiers out. Use a can of dust air, you know, the compressed ones. You can get them. They're relatively inexpensive. And blow it out. Get all the dust out of there. The dust is going to shorten the life of your receiver anyways. It blocks its ability to transfer heat well. And that heat can cause your receiver to go into a protection mode, which stops it from playing so it can cool down and prevent harm from happening. Don't hotbox it. Sometimes your home furnishings don't allow you for that large, sticking your receiver on the top or putting it in a rack. You want it to look good. And if your volume levels and you like to listen to it loud, or you're driving maybe a dedicated theater room, you're going to run it hot and you're stuck with that small square hole that comes with a lot of furniture. But don't worry, there's solutions out there. Sometimes it's just as simple as cutting a rear ventilation hole. Sometimes you can get a fan. I actually have a set of AC Infinity fans that I picked up to keep mine a little bit cooler because I am stuck in that situation. I have a nice media center and I want it to look good. And I'm willing to make the compromise where I don't have a large enough entrance or hole for the receiver to allow it to properly cool. So I picked up this AC Infinity fan. It's USB powered. there you go, USB powered. And I am powering it directly from like a little old cell phone plug, and I put it into a smart plug so I can control it and turn it on and off. However, if you want, you could plug this directly into your receiver if it has a USB port and power it. It has multiple speeds. You got a low, medium, high, and an off. And what's cool about the AC Infinity stuff is they have a module with a temperature sensor. AC Infinity also has other fan modules available. They have some nice rack mount ones. They have ones that will sit on top of your receiver and blow the exhaust out through the front if there's no back exit. And they also have ones that you can mount directly into the back of your furniture. If you cut a little hole, you can mount it into the back. So check out their product line. Incredible stuff. Very low noise and works very well to keep your equipment cool. Very reasonably priced. I'll put the affiliate links for this and all the products that I mentioned today in the description. Please use the affiliate links. It helps support the channel, but it doesn't cost anything extra to you. It keeps me going, allows me to buy new products and provide reviews for you. Power issues. If your receiver is feeling maybe a little bit powerless, it might be time to, play some Rage Against the Machine, or just maybe give it a little pep talk. Or maybe you're having a problem with the power cord, and this has actually happened. I was in a demo of a very nice home theater system, and the receiver kept turning on and off. They were cranking it up, and the bass was slamming, and boom, every time the bass would hit, click, it was shutting off. And we ran around for a good hour or two, and finally what we had found out is that when the bass was hitting, it was vibrating the back of the cord just enough in the receiver where it was disconnecting and then reconnecting. You could turn it back on. We snugged it back up, checked all the connections, and it worked. You could be possibly having other problems as well. You might be having problems with the electrical system itself. Maybe you have a bad circuit in your home. An easy way to test is you could bring it maybe to another room, or if you have like a multi-floor home, you could take it to another floor and plug it in and see if it still happens there. If you are having an electrical issue, reach out, contact your local electrician and have them come out and take a look. Sometimes your receiver can feel a little overloaded, a little heavy-hearted. Sometimes your speakers are just a little bit too much to drive, especially if you have a cheaper or older receiver. You have what's called an ohm rating. Standard ohm ratings are 4, 6, 8, and 16 ohm loads. So each speaker has that rating on it. When you go lower, you are generally driving harder to make those speakers work. So if you're running a 4 ohm load, sometimes your receiver is not happy with those particular speakers, especially if they're hard to drive speakers that are rated 4 ohms. Try backing off a couple of speakers, seeing if you still have the same problem. And you may have to replace your speakers with something that's a little bit easier to drive. Speaker issues. This is actually one that I had happen to me. So here I was trying to troubleshoot my home theater, and this is what actually brought me to make this video. Is like I ran into a problem. My receiver was shutting off on me, and I found out my little bird, or conure, decided to chew through the insulation on my speaker cables and short it out. And the way I figured out how this is I unplugged all my speakers from the back of the receiver, brought them up in groups. I did the front, left, center first, and worked my way around. And I found out finally when I got to the rear surrounds where the problem was. Well, I wasn't sure if it was the actual speaker or if it was a short in the wiring. I tracked it down to those little nibble marks, and there was some wires that were crossing from the positive to the negative. Get yourself a set of banana plugs. That will prevent a lot from the back of the receiver and also the speaker. They're super easy to put in. This pair here, you just slide this insulation back, and there's a little screw. You screw it down, and it holds the cable in. You plug that back into the back of your speakers and the back of your receivers. It prevents those little wire hairs from possibly shorting out on your receiver or on the speakers or the wires themselves. Cheap, easy to do. Take you a few minutes of your time. Save you hours of troubleshooting. Sometimes your theater receiver or your amplifier may be a little bit confused. Sometimes you have glitch in the software. Yes, they all run on software. And sometimes that software has a problem. You could try to hard reset it by unplugging your receiver, plugging it back in. See if it's just a full power reset will resolve the issue. You also could do a full reset. If you look at your owner's manual, there's a way you can go through there and do what's called a reset. It's going to reset your calibration, any changes to treble bass, any EQ settings, or anything else that you set up on the receiver. It's going to wipe all that out, but a lot of times that can resolve a good portion of issues with your system. Sometimes you can do a software update that will also resolve it. Sometimes the software updates actually cause a new bug, and then you may have to reset it again. So update it, check it, unplug it. Well, let me put it in. Unplug it, plug it back in, see if it resolves it. Reset it, see if that resolves it. Check for an update, see if that resolves it. Then reset it again if it still hasn't resolved it. Hopefully that will take care of it if it is a software issue. Now for the one that nobody wants to hear. It's a hardware issue. Yes, it does happen. Things burn out, things break. Sometimes they do before the warranty is up, and sometimes they do after. These happen, and unfortunately, the only way that you're going to fix a hardware issue is either to get it replaced or get it repaired. Contact the manufacturer. Check your warranty. You check your credit card. Sometimes your credit card has an extended warranty. So say you're getting 2 years off of your receiver and you put it on a credit card, it might extend it out for another year. So figure out where you bought it from, check your warranty, check your credit card, and contact the manufacturer. Sometimes the manufacturer will take it back and attempt to fix or repair it. However, sometimes the repairs don't justify the value of the receiver anymore, especially if it's getting a little bit older. You also have an option, and I haven't personally used it, but you may have a local electronics repair shop. You could take it to them, last case scenario, bring it to them and see if they are willing to work on it and take a look and provide you a quote to get it working and up and running again. Hopefully, the solutions I presented will resolve your problems and you don't have to resort to this. We all want to be back up and running, listening to our music, watching our favorite movies as soon as possible. I hope one of these things has helped you out today. Remember, check out the affiliate links. It supports the channel. It doesn't cost any additional to you, and I'll put all the links to everything I talked about today in the description.